Okay, so now for part 3, we want to make a dude, right? We want to make a dude, and want to be able to move him and control him and stuff like that. So these are things we need. So we're going to have to go to the model and create a guy, class dude. That might be too early. Well, let's just make all dudes dudes. Definite self. Let's see, what should we need for the dude? The dude needs some sort of things. So let's see, he's got a position, self x equals 0, self y equals 0. Or should we just give him a square? So when we create a guy, he will have a square which is equal to none unless he's not there. So we'll have to use the square to move things around. Which means that I might have to do some extra setup with the squares. So the squares might need to know their neighbors. Let's see, what else do we need for him? And he needs a viewer, and self view will be the viewer. Let's see, what else will we need? We'll need to be able to put him, turn him into an occupant. So def what will we say? No, we don't want to occupy. So should we do, how should we do this? Should we do it here? Def move into self square. So if square get occupant equals none, self square equals square, we've moved there, and square set occupant self. All right, which probably means that before we do that, self square dot set occupant to none. So that way there will be nobody in there. So def set occupant self occupant occupant equals none. So this is only if there's no occupant there. All right, so self occupant equals none. So we need a get occupant as well, getters and setters. Def get occupant self return self occupant. All right. So if he's done this, we can return true. So he's moved. Well, let's say return none, meaning that he moved and he doesn't kill any, he's not attacking anything. Since you bump into something and you attack him, else return square.get occupant. Okay, so we're not doing anything with that square get occupant right now. And right now we don't have anything that says you don't move into the square. So maybe if square dot is if not square is open. They tell me this is bad. Return none. So this isn't quite good because this means that if I keep trying to move into something that isn't a wall, that's like a wall, then it's going to keep banging. It's going to keep iterating on the time. We don't have time right now. We don't have to worry about it right now. But we will have to worry about it later on. So we will have to somehow keep track of that time somehow, and we'll probably distinguish that between how we send this thing back here. For example, we could do a false instead of a none, right? And that's perfectly fine for Python. And then I could say if it's false, it does one thing. If it does none, it's another thing. I'll just return none for now and worry about that timing thing later if I have to worry about it, because I don't have a timer, right? I don't have anything that's counting moves right now, so there's nothing to worry about as far as that's concerned. So we'll figure out what to do when we actually have a timer. Okay, so right now we've got the dude. Self-control equals none. This is bad practice, but none is player. And else AI class. So none means the player is controlling it, and later on when we turn monsters into dudes, we can get that. So I don't need an inventory yet. I just need to move the stupid dude, and I've probably got too much stuff in there already. So let's see, do I have any bad stupid errors? No stupid errors, just bad errors. Let's make a classic dude. So I'm going to use one of my game class things. Out equals PG surface scale out.convert out.fill 63 6363. And did I leave the... I didn't leave the thing. We want the color key here. Color key 636363. That should be... That should make it transparent. And then we want to screen print. Possibly I should just use what I've got here. Message equals to message. I'm just going to Z copy. What was that? Oh, that was probably something from what I was doing before. So let's see if I can... I don't need to use the game class screen print because I can do it all on my own. Output font equals font size. I've got Pygame, or do I have PG? I've got PG here. Could use the game class. Let's just use the game class. It's screen print out comma at, and we won't bother with, well, we probably have to bother with these other things. So need a position, 0, 0, and a size, which will be the scale. 0, 0 is probably not good. Let's see. I've got color and font after that, but I don't really know what font to use. Oops. Wonderful. I don't really know what font to use, so I won't bother. We'll just see what we get. And kind of just see what we get, and then mess around with it in a second. So this looks like it's getting pretty complicated already, so maybe we won't want to do that. Okay, so how do we deal with this? So we'll just start by creating okay, so here I've got a player here. I don't really know what to do with that. We'll deal with that later. Maybe we can do a generation. So we do some before we get into the actual game. We'll maybe we can do a character generation, and then we can pass in the player. But right now, let's just give us a dude, and let's see. What do I say there? I say dude move into square, and so self.player.move into self.map 0, 1, 2. Let's see if that does what I think it's going to do. Yes, it does exactly what I think it's going to do, which is crash. Map is not. Self pause return self squares That's no good. For square in self squares, if pos equal if square dot get position equals pos return square. Let's see here. And if that doesn't work, we'll return none. I think it'll do that anyway, but I kind of prefer to have that there to tell me what's going on. Let's see. Search is map for a square at a given position. Okay, so let's see. Self map get square 2 2 tools go break. F is open self return self open. Tools go. Tools go. Okay, I am going to comment this out. And just turn this into the if and see if that's where the problem is. Okay, so it's probably in this. Okay, so I'll look at the print pause, see what's going on there. So that's 2 2, so that's what I want. And come over here. Print square get position, comma. So I'm just doing these traces, see where I've screwed up. So it gets to 2 2. Right, so that's good. So it's gone all the way to 2 2, stopped, and sent something back. Alright, so that's fine. So Oh. If self square. Okay. So the problem was that the initial setting of the position was no good. I really have to do that. Well, I probably ought to do that. I probably ought to do that. Up here, so why didn't I do that? I don't. Rather than using move into, I'll just use the square. I set it up that way. That would be the smart way to do it anyway. So where did I hide that? Okay, let's see what happens now. Okay, so the only problem here is I don't draw the dude. But it runs. I don't draw the dude because he's on the square, so I've got two choices. I can either draw the dude independently, or because he's now the occupant of the square, I can come over here to the empty square. Right, if self occupant. Top equals self occupant dot view scale out blit top 0, 0. Let's see if that doesn't, or if I've screwed up the blit. Okay, that does not do it. All right. Okay, so this happens over and over, so it should just be there at the bottom. So none of these guys seem to have an occupant. So let's see. Let me see if I'm... Okay, let's check the dude. Square set occupant. Oh, there's the problem. Okay, tools go. Okay, so that was not the problem. It just looked like it. So what did I have over here? So my square should set an occupant, self-occupant, whenever Oh, okay. Okay, because I didn't do it that way. Okay, I've got to do that. That means this is now bad. Dude has no attribute view. Oh, I have to set the viewer? Way up here. Self-player.set viewer. Game view classic. Is that what I called it? Classic dude. Typo. Oh, aren't you so happy to watch somebody like me program? I don't know how you do it. Okay, let's see. Go. What's the next one? Classic dude takes 2 arguments. Tools go. Okay, let's see how I did that. Set color key. All right. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh, there's an at. The at looks a little big to me. But it is an at. So what I will do is size will be equal to int scale times 4 divided by 5. And push will equal scale minus size divided by 2. Let's push that. And hopefully, and this I want to have its size. Hopefully that will center that at. Okay, that's not really the center. Could do with being just a little bit smaller and a little bit brighter. Okay, so let's do 3. See how bad this does it. Too small and too far to the right. So let's try 7/10 times 3/2, no, times 2/3. Because I'm going to have to do an int there because it only takes integers. And let's see what I've got. Oh, now I need to push down a tiny bit, but that's okay. Why don't I see what happens? Still like it a little bit taller, so let's try 15/20. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. Maybe 1 more pixel to the right. Let's see what happens if I do 0.5. No. Where is that? Oh, perfect. Look at that. It's a perfect @ sign. Now all I have to do is make him move around. Okay, so that was already half an hour. And now I want to make him move around. Like I said, that means what I need to do is I need to tell the squares who their neighbors are. Let's see. Self.neighbors equals none. Okay, so if I do 0 through 9, that'll be none times 10. And then I can just look up by their number on the keypad, right? And 0, we don't know what that means yet. Maybe there's going to be something we can operate or something like that with the 0 key. I don't know. I don't know at this point. But the 0 and the 5, they'll have their own things. But, you know, we have the keypad, and that'll give us the 1 through 9, and we can do directions that way. All right. So we need to fix this a little bit, of course. We're going to have to turn this into its own function at some point. Okay, so what we could do is in add square, have them find the neighbors. That's a good idea. When you add it, it finds the neighbors and does whatever it needs to do. And it does it for both squares, and then everybody's happy, right? So let's do that. Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, so we'll assign some neighbors. Actually, we could use this to make sure that nothing duplicates on top of itself. But the way I've got things going right now, nothing's going to do that. Laundry's done. Let's see. For square in... This will be the new square. In self squares. If... Okay... How should we do this? Should we just do this in a big list, or should we try to do it fancy? Let's do it. Let's do it in a big list rather than do it fancy. Pos equals square dot get position. This is going to be bad. Let's see. If so, I want the number here to correspond to the number there. So if x naught minus 1, y naught plus 1 is equal to pos, then what do? Then, let's see, I called it, what did I call it for the square? I didn't call it anything. So def add neighbor self pos self.neighbors pos equals square. Okay. And I'll leave the figuring out what to do to the map. So new square, set neighbor square 1. and square set neighbor square 9. Okay. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. This is probably one too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Let's see. 2 has no change in x and a +1 change in y. So that's 2 and 8. 3 has a +1 change of x and a +1 change of y, I think. So that's 3 and 7. 4 has -1 change in x, none there, so 4 and 6. 6 has a +1 change in x, no change in y, so 6 and 4. And then I have a -1 and a -1 for 7. So that makes this one 3. And directly up is y0 -1, 8, and 2, 9, and 1. Okay, I need to do a +1 -1. All right. So that should assign the neighbors. Does that break it? It does, because I cannot spell. Okay. Let's see. Still broken. Oh, I called that add neighbor. This is more of a set, actually. So we'll go back to set. Okay, I see another issue that's going to show up. Okay. No, that's not going to show up because it's already in there, so there shouldn't be a problem. Everything that I can do inconsistently, I do inconsistently. So at least it's assigned those things. I have not added any control yet. Okay, so now we need to get into move into. How did move into work? Self square get occupant, self square get occupant. Okay, so that's fine. What is the issue? What did I not think about? I need to, let's see, where did my control? My control subscribes to the player only. Okay, that's good. So it's subscribed to my player, hopefully, right? And when he resolves, if event.type is it's pg.keydown. Let's see. Then if event.key equals k1, or is that np1 or something like that? kp1, I think. Then self player get square 1. Okay, our prospect is get square 1 self.player.move into prospect. Okay, so that means we need to ask the player what that thing is, right? If one works, then I'll make the other 7. If it doesn't, then I won't. So we need to get, what did I call it again? Get square. No, that shouldn't be. Self direction. Return self square dot get neighbor 1. Get neighbor self direction return self neighbors 1 direction. Okay, let's see, and I want dir. All right, and we rename this get prospect, because we won't get square, just get that square, right? So if we need it later. Oop, blew up, good. Oh, square brackets, not curly brackets. Also, let's go to the game view. Get rid of the prints. Square print. What else did I print? In the model I printed stuff, right? That's always the problem. What did I break? Okay, that didn't work. It didn't work because it was saying that a none type object has no things, so no is open attribute. So I know that square is in there because we actually see him. Self neighbors. Just see how that defines itself. Or square and self squares. Print neighbors. So after it went through all of that, it didn't find anything it liked. Let's see, do I send it the wrong thing? So it should have by now been finding neighbors to assign. So it looks like whatever I'm doing, I guess, since those, I don't know why. I'd expect that, that's the wrong one, okay. I'd expect that this should give me the things I want, right? I mean, 2 zeros should be a neighbor of like 1 0, right? At some level. So let's see. Print 1 1 equals 1 1. True. Okay, so That should be giving me the thing I want, right? Square set neighbor. Okay, so there's actually no problem with that. Just hide it and hide that as well. Nowhere in there did it ever find a neighbor for any of those guys. So, what did I do? What did I screw up? So it looks like it gets here, right? Because I got rid of the other things and it shows up. So print square pos. Okay, so see here it says that it should be, it's got a square. Let's put in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should be putting something there, but it isn't. Oh, two equal signs, screwed it all up. Okay, so that works. Two equal signs screwed me up. Let's see, get rid of those. Okay. So we're good. Now all we need is to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Two, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we have to decide what 0 and 5 are for. We haven't done that yet. But we don't have to know everything right away, right? Hopefully that's not just going to be dead data. Hopefully that'll be something we can use. Actually, we can use that for up and down, even if we don't use 0 and 5 for the key press. We can use 0 for up and 5 for down, so if we have a ladder or something, we will be fine. So I think that gets it. No, I can go left, but I can't go right. I can go up, but I can't go down. Okay, so that's strange. Is that true at the very beginning? I seem to have an asymmetry problem here. Back to control. 9 goes with 9, 8 goes with 8, 7 goes with 7, 6 goes with 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that should all be fine. Okay, so let's see if things are getting overwritten first. That took a lot of time. No, so most of these squares have everything but, most of them at the very end have everything but the 2 in the center. Some of them have other things, but most of them have everything but in the center. So, but some of them are the corner ones and stuff like that. So we've got 9 in the center that have just about everything, and the other ones at the edges. So the assignment is fine. Okay, assignment is okay. This doesn't look like there's any way, if this works, this should work, right? If 4 works, 6 should work. There's no difference there. Let me just make sure. Ah, there's the issue. All right. So I was assigning squares to themselves as neighbors. You've got to be very creative to make errors. So okay, so it moves around. Good. We're in good shape. It won't go through the walls. We're also in good shape there. So next we have to do something hard, right? Next time, oops, blew it up. Next time we're going to have to make a procedurally generated hallway that goes to the end of forever. So we've got it going. We've got a moving dude. I got to get rid of all of that printing. That printing slows down the generation. Got a little moving at sign that makes us think that we're actually playing a roguelike. Then we'll have to have a hallway. We want the hallway to go like from here to here or something. And we want it to be, we want it to go, let's say we'll have it start here or here and go by random steps over to here. We'll have to make some sort of algorithm to make it random and funny looking, because that's what we like for roguelikes, is random, funny looking corridors. All right, so that is what we've got for today. We've got the moving dude. We've got his control going around. Next, we'll make a hallway and move him down the hallway. After that, we'll make something for him to pick up and possibly add a stairway at the edge of that first room. All right. Thanks very much. Bye now.